Trojan Family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, how's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Listen, we are still riding high on this big time win. Listen, it is go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking. You guys know I got the sunglasses on because the future is still bright. Look, we got a couple of things we got to talk about. I want to put something on the table as it relates to Eric Gentry this morning because I went back. I watched some film, and it was multiple guys. I want to talk about something with him, specifically him. Also, I want to talk about Miller Moss now in the Heisman race. We'll talk about that. We'll show you the lineup as far as where he's saying that I have on the table that I really want to address is Eric Gentry. Man, listen, I had an opportunity to go back and I watched some film, and I saw how Eric Gentry moved and groove. Listen, this is no surprise. You guys know because he did it last year. He did it the year before, and he's consistently causing problems, causing chaos on the defense to the opposing offenses. And what we witnessed from Eric Gentry, not only did we witness consistency, but we witnessed a guy that I stated this last year. I saw him multiple times change the trajectory of these passes that were thrown by Nussmeier. And as a result, you know, he could have, I think he almost could have picked one. He had it, he tipped it up, it was in the middle. But the play of Eric Gentry, you know, I get the sense like he is really, I almost feel like I want to say Eric Gentry is the leader of the defense. I mean, that's the feel I get from him when I'm watching him. You know, his intensity, his leadership, and then his play. You couple that with the play that he's putting on the field. And he's a team guy. We've never seen him complaining. But listen, I went back and watched the film, and I saw Eric Gentry stick his head in there. Listen, a guy that they so-called say is too small, I mean, his heart is just super big. A guy that they say is so small went in there and made a big-time hit. There were some plays that I believe that if Eric Gentry wasn't in there, listen, it's no way in the world there were certain plays that we wouldn't have got no stops. That tip ball was a big-time play that really changed some things as it relates to the USC football. And I think it had a major influence on the game. I need you guys to hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. You see Eric Gentry with Kamari Ramsey. And listen, I'm going to get to the Utah State sometime this week, the Utah State game. But listen, I can't get off of our defense because it was Eric Gentry. But my God, as I stated, is Kamari Ramsey as advertised? I see why he's a starter. I see why he came in and did what he had to do. That guy's closing speed is so crazy. It was one play in particular that was on the outside. Kamari Ramsey absolutely closed the gap so fast. He read the play, diagnosed the play, and then he came in there and closed the gap. Listen, man, and thank God, listen, he's only a true sophomore. We get another player like him coming back. I mean, it is straight up go time. But when you look at Eric Gentry, this was something, you know, it's a little small, but I'm going to read it off to you. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year power rankings following week one. And apparently, it's not just me noticing this. It's other people notice it. People from the Big Ten Conference. But I'm going to read these off to you. Number one player they had was cornerback Will Johnson, right? Then they had linebacker Jay Higgins from Iowa. Number three is going to be Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State. Number four is going to be Denzel Burke, cornerback for Ohio State. Number five is going to be Tyleik Williams, offensive tackle from Ohio State. Mason Graham, D tackle, Michigan. Then you're going to have Big Time Mateo out of Oregon, DN. And then number 8 is going to be Josiah Stewart from defensive end from Michigan. But then coming at number 9 for this Big Ten Player of the Year power rankings is Eric Gentry. Listen, I'm not the only one that's noticing this. People from the Big Ten Conference is noticing what Eric Gentry is doing. And for him to be on the power rankings of this Big Ten Player of the Year, listen, he was flying around against LSU. And look, Eric Gentry may be a guy that may not even get any bigger. I think what he does on the field, you know, standing at 225, they said he gained some weight. His frame right now might be it. But you know what? And that might be where he stops at as far as his frame-wise. But I think he can get it done. he's absolutely going in there and he's smashing guys. He's going in there fearless. And look, some guys you're just going to have to, I believe you're just going to have to accept the size that they are and just really go with it. You just have, he's what you call a unique guy that you could put him on the edge. You could put him at the linebacker spot. You could put him anywhere. And it's going to be straight up go time. And you saw, look, to be 6'6" and extend your hand, do you know how high an individual has to jump? He's already an athlete, so you know his vertical is going up there. But for somebody else that's a regular size linebacker, maybe a 6'3" or a 6'2", or even like a Mason Cobb, a 5'11", you know how high your vertical has to be to even go up there and extend that play like that. Eric Gentry is that guy, man. So you guys can hit me with you in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. I personally think it's time for Eric Gentry. It is his time, but I think he gets to start. You know, if there's anything I saw from that defense that I noticed that maybe should change, you know, coaches know better than me, but I think Eric Gentry, I think he starts. I think he starts next to Mason Cobb. I think Mason Cobb had a phenomenal game. It's no knock on anybody. You guys know it. I love every player. I love Easton Mascarenas Arnold. I think all those guys are great. But I think what I saw from Mason Cobb, what I saw from Eric Gentry, the other night, how do you keep him, especially like when we go against Michigan, that dude is just a different type of guy, man. So you guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what y'all think. You guys tell me, is USCJ overreacting to Eric Gentry's performance? Or do you guys see it the same way I see it? That's the way I see it, man. I'm sticking to it. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to talk about this AP poll in just a second, but I want to go over this first. This is the Heisman. This is the latest Heisman projections right here. And you guys can see it right there. You see it, number one. They're going to have Cam Ward. Of course, he balled out. Big-time game against Florida. Went to an SEC school. And by the way, did anybody hear what Cameron Ward had to say? I'm going to play that too in just a second. Cameron Ward had to say about USC Stadium, about the SEC stadiums. I'm gonna play it. Number 2 is Travis Hunter. Number 3 is Terrion McMillan from Arizona. Number 4, Ashton Gentry from Boise State. I think that's that running back. He balled out. Oregon better watch out for them. Oregon better watch out for Boise State. That running back had like 6 TDs. It's gonna be straight up go time with him. And then Jalen Milroe, number 5. Guess who's coming in at number 6? Miller Moss. Miller Moss coming at 6 as far as the Heisman Week 2 guys who they're projecting out. Number 7 is Jackson Dart. Oddly enough and crazy enough, Miller Moss was here. He was at USC with Jackson Dart. 2 USC guys really battling out now for the Heisman. The next one's going to be Carson Beck from Georgia, number 8. Number 9 is Big Nico from Tennessee. He balled out. And then Quinn Ewers, number 10. So Miller Moss sitting there at number 6. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Terrion McMillan, Ashton Gentry, Jalen Milroe, Miller Moss sitting at their number 6, followed by Jackson Dart, Carson Beck, Nico, and Quinn Ewers. You guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. I think that is something incredible. And before we go to this AP poll real quick, I just want to touch on what I was telling you guys about what Cam Ward had to say, because he was making reference to the actual guys that play in the Pac-12. And I think a lot of people talk about the stadiums and all that, but listen to him. Oh, hold up for 1 second. This thing is not playing right. Let me get this. Here it is right here. USC wasn't fast, but it was louder than this. I played Oregon, it was louder than this. The Pac-12 isn't slogan for it. It's slogan for the Pac-12. All right, let me stop that. I know it's kind of hard to hear, but listen, they were asking him about playing in the SEC environment. He played in Florida, and he said, "Look, man, I played at USC. It wasn't the most packed game in the country, but listen," he said, "it gets super loud at USC. Very underrated place." He said, "I played at Oregon." He said it's super loud. He said he played at all these other schools in the Pac-12, and he said it was loud. Listen, the Pac-12, he said, "What is the toughest place to play?" He said it was the Pac-12. He said, "No, this is not it." That's exactly what Cam Ward had to say in reference to the toughest place to play. Listen, we know that the narrative of the Pac-12, and listen, when I'm talking about it now, it's a bittersweet thing for me because it's a special place in my heart. Although I'm happy that we moved on and we got to do what we got to do. But listen, that conference would have never been destroyed if they would have handled business right. And then the fact that they put out certain narratives about we weak, we this, with that. And like I said, I had to get into it with somebody on Twitter yesterday, LSU guy, a media guy, talking crap about USC. And I said, listen, man, I didn't even want to have to bring up UCLA. But I said, look, you can't even beat the West Coast teams. You lost against UCLA in 2021, and you lost against USC in 2024. You can't beat a West Coast team. So you need to hush up talking about the USC. So that's the narrative that they continue to put out. And then I heard some crazy guy. He's on the media. I think he's with CBS, Brando. He put out some information talking about LSU beat themselves and all this crazy stuff. Look, man, they don't want to give us credit where credit is due, but USC absolutely went out there and balled out, and you cannot take that away from them. And as I stated with some other LSU guys, because I got respect for LSU. LSU came out there and they played a big-time ball game. Those were great athletes. And I told one guy today, I hit him on this podcast. I said, look, two great teams actually played that game. One of them had to lose, and it happened to be LSU. But I look for LSU, as I stated to him, I said I look for LSU to go and play big-time football this season. They are a good football team, but somebody had to lose. USC was able to execute at the end. Miller Moss was able to execute at the end, the 2-minute drive, and Woody Marks was able to seal the deal, man. So that's what I kind of told him. But look, you guys can hit me in the comments on that. Let's talk about this AP poll because are you guys happy? Are you guys feeling it? This is it right here. You see where USC is, and they're sitting at number 13. But I'll just kind of go through it real quick just to see what you guys think about this. Those who can't are unable to see it, but you see Georgia number 1. You see Ohio State is going to be number 2. Texas number 3. Alabama 4. 5 is going to be Notre Dame. 6 is going to be Ole Miss. Now, if we're basing it off of performance, I don't think this team should be number 7. They were absolutely lost in the sauce. Close win for this team, and it's Oregon. And they're number 7. Number 8 is going to be Penn State. Penn State looked dominant against West Virginia. Missouri's number 9. Missouri looked very strong. Number 10 is going to be Michigan. Now, Michigan had some trouble with Fresno State. They did start pulling away. I think you can easily put Michigan ahead of Oregon. How's Oregon ahead of Michigan? I have absolutely no idea. Oregon looked terrible. And for those who don't realize, I stated money can buy you a lot of things. There were so many people crying about, and I'm gonna get to this list, but there were so many people crying about the transfer portal. Oh, we didn't get this guy. Do you not know that Oregon's team allowed 3 sacks on Dylan Gabriel? I talked to somebody, a good friend of mine. His son plays there, and look, Oregon, they're having some problems internally. Look, you can take that with a grain of salt, but you got to have chemistry. And I told you guys that you could buy all the players you want, but if you don't have the chemistry, it's not going to work. And I think that may be one of the things that's going on with Oregon right now as it relates to their football team. Look, that is a problem. This guy told me last night, he said, Jay, their players were big, just as big as ours. He said Idaho was just manhandling us off the line. You talk about 3 sacks. I don't know why Oregon is ahead of Michigan. That is, I could easily put Oregon at number 15, but they basing it on talent. They basing it on the transfer portal, whatever. So you got Missouri at number 10. You got Utah. They look good. Cam Rising, he's in his 18th year, but he put on a show. I'm not going to lie. Number 13 is going to be, number 12 is going to be Miami. Number 13 is going to be USC. You guys tell me, are you comfortable with that? I'm cool with that. That's what LSU was. I guess they figured we beat LSU, so they put us at number 13. Whatever, I'm good with that. I don't think we need to get the big head. I just think all we need to do is continue to win. My thing is, if you do get a loss, you're closer to coming back to number 20 opposed to, coming back to a number 13. Like if we were a top 10 team, some of the stuff that they do is strategic. They know we got to play against a team like Michigan, and that's kind of shady. And for Michigan to be at number 10, that's shady right there too. I don't get it, man, but it is what it is. But Yeah, so we're at number 13. Tennessee's number 14. Oklahoma's at number 15. Oklahoma State is at number 16. Kansas State is number 17. LSU's number 18. I don't think LSU should have moved that far. I wouldn't mind LSU being right behind us at number 14. That's how highly I think of LSU. If you LSU fans are looking, you guys battle it out with us. I just feel like that was just a great game. Anybody who watched that game, that was an epic game. So if LSU was at number 14 right behind us, it would not bother me at all because I got respect for LSU big time. Kansas is at number 19. Number 20 is going to be Arizona. Iowa is at number 21. Number 22 is going to be Louisville. Number 23 is going to be Georgia Tech. And then you see North Carolina State is sitting there at number 24. Clemson, listen, Clemson does not need to be, they're number 25, but they do not need to be in the top 25. Are you going to sit here and tell me there's not another team that we could put other than Clemson in the top 25? I mean, that is absolutely, to me, that is absolutely absurd, man. So look, that is all I got for you guys today, man. You guys hit me in the comment section. Listen, I know there's some that's going to ask me about a situation that happened with Miller Moss. I don't even want to give that any type of clout. I don't even want to give it no type of attention. The situation that came out, there was a story yesterday, something lost in the sauce. I'm surprised that this one LA Times guy did it, but I'm not going to mention his name. But TMZ put this story out about Miller Moss. I'm not going to address it. All I can tell you is it's something that happened 2 years ago. They are absolutely lost in the sauce. Why even bring it up now, all of a sudden that we having success? But it is what it is, man. But I know some of you going to ask me that. That's why I addressed it like that. I am not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that. I'm living on what we're doing right now, and USC is balling out. Miller Moss is QB1. It is straight up go time. It's on the popping. It's on the cracking, man. So, look, you guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. You guys already know where you can find me. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, everybody that comes on, listen, it helps me out. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that share button. It helps me out in the algorithms. Listen, YouTube tells me over 100 and some thousand people continue to come to this channel every 28 days. I will have to show you my analytics so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So if you guys think that my analytics is not showing me that, look, it's showing me that. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you anything. It's free. Free information coming to you every day by yours truly, USCJ. Listen, I am still hyped on this win. I am still pumped up. I got the shades on. I'm keeping them on. Listen, it is straight up go time. It's on the popping. It's on the cracking. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.